Let's find out why a certain Disney World restaurant with a split personality has earned so much hype in the past few years. Today on DFP Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and today we're making our way over to the European countryside of Disney's Riviera Resort to learn about Topolino's Terrace, flavors of the Riviera. So you know that split personality I mentioned a second ago? Well, Topolino's Terrace is like the mullet of restaurants. You got business in the front, which is the sophisticated upscale dining experience for dinner, and a party in the back, which is the fun, upbeat character meal for breakfast. Sorry, not my metaphor, but still really funny. So you get to decide which personality you're going to go with at Topolino's Terrace. Let's get started with atmosphere. If you haven't been to Disney's Riviera Resort before, it's definitely worth a stroll, even if you don't plan on dropping all the extra money to stay at a deluxe resort. The Riviera is inspired by Walt Disney's European travels, and those French and Italian and other Mediterranean elements come through the design of the work of good old Topolino's Terrace too. So let's start off our restaurant tour in the dining room. This is a very large and open area, so you don't have to worry about feeling stuffy or too close to a neighboring group. And though the decor is pretty minimal, there are still plenty of intricate details like sparkling chandeliers and a hidden Mickey or two. Now there are two bar areas that are noteworthy for different reasons. The first is over in the restaurant's lounge area, and what I'm about to spill here is why you watch these Disney restaurant reviews in the first place. I'm about to give you a dining hack. If you didn't make reservations for Topolino's Terrace for dinner, you might still be able to eat here if you request a seat at the bar, which has first come first served seating. The bar area is pretty smallish, so you're still better off guaranteeing your spot in the restaurant by making a reservation ahead of time. But if all the reservations are taken before you get a chance to book one, this is a good alternative to check into just in case, especially since this bar area serves the full Topolino's menu. Something to keep in mind. Now the second bar is located on the outdoor terrace, which is one of the best parts about dining here for dinner. Because this restaurant is on the top floor of the Riviera, the outdoor terrace view is breathtaking. You're going to be able to look out across the water, across the rest of the resort area. You know, Orlando's totally flat, so you're going to be able to see everything in Walt Disney World that sits in that direction. Now, I'm not going to gloss over the terrace itself. There's plenty of seating in the outdoor area too, with lots of stringed lights hanging overhead to really set the romantic mood. The terrace is available for dinner guests only, sorry breakfast goers, and although the restaurant itself is pretty classy, the terrace gives you a chance to kick back and relax and sip on something bubbly while taking in those sweeping views. I love looking out across the terrace during sunset hours. It's one of the prettiest restaurant views on property and makes me feel like I'm on the set of like Lion King, if like Pride Rock was secretly serving champagne in the back or something, right? But what makes the outdoor views even better, yep, that's right, they get better, is the fact that you're going to have views of some fireworks at both Epcot and Hollywood Studios once the sun fully sets. It's important to keep in mind that Topolino's is a signature restaurant for dinner, aka a fancy restaurant, so there is a dress code, meaning you're going to need to leave like your bathing suit and your ripped up cutoffs back in the hotel room. Don't stress though, you don't need to rent a tux or anything drastic. The dress code is on the Disney World website, but in general, you just need to make sure you're not walking up to the swanky establishment in your like bikini. Leave that back in the hotel room. Wear real clothes. Now, I told you I was going to talk about both breakfast and dinner, and I plan on keeping that promise. So if dinner gives you an outdoor terrace, what is breakfast going to give ya? Well, 2 words, character dining. Doesn't mean you eat characters, means you eat with characters. Depending on the person and group you're with, you're either going to love or hate character dining, but if you're someone or with someone who loves meeting the characters while munching on their meal, I'll have you know that Topolino's is one of the best meet and greet experiences for some of the most popular Disney characters. And I will say, if you hate character dining in general because it's too loud and there's too many kids and it's kind of stressful, Topolino's is going to be your good bridge between a relaxing breakfast and a character meal. This is probably the one you want to choose. Just to reiterate, characters do only show up during breakfast here, not dinner. But who can you expect to stop by? Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Daisy are all the stars of Topolino's Terrace. Pluto and Goofy must have missed their European flight. Now, the characters aren't just coming by to see you in their usual attire. They're dressed up to celebrate the arts. Mickey's got his paint-covered smock and beret. Donald didn't have time to wash off, but his messy smock suggests he's been hard hard at work doing fun sculpture or like architectural projects. Daisy's all dressed up like a ballerina who's ready to hit the main stage, and Minnie's doing the absolute most by fashioning her dress made of poetry pages. Hello, yes, where can I get me one of those? The characters will each greet you at your table for hugs, photos, autographs, and general merriment. They'll also dance around the dining room to charming European tunes, which might make you feel like dancing too. So based on the descriptions I've already given you, you probably already have a pretty good idea about where Topolino's Terrace is located, but there are some important details about this location that might trip you up. So, some Disney World spots make getting to Topolino's Terrace easier than others. If you're spending the day at Disney's Hollywood Studios or Epcot, for example, then you've got the handy-dandy Disney Skyliner system at your disposal, which is one of the big benefits for staying at the Riviera in the first place. Or if you're staying at a different hotel on the Skyliner route, like Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, or any of the other Epcot area resorts right outside the International Gateway, then you'll also have a much easier time getting to Topolino's Terrace quickly. Although traveling from a different hotel or theme park outside the Skyliner system isn't hard, you'll probably want to set aside extra travel time in your itinerary to make sure you're going to get to your Topolino's Terrace reservation on time, especially if you're taking a Disney bus from your hotel. Disney World resorts don't have direct bus lines to each other, so you'll have to transfer to a different bus from either the Disney Springs area or one of the other theme parks. So you'll probably need to factor in at least an extra hour of travel time before your reservation. Personally, if I were staying at a different hotel that didn't have Skyliner access, I'd probably take a bus to Hollywood Studios and then take the Skyliner over to the Riviera from there. Now, if you have a Topolino's Terrace reservation and you brought your own car along with you on vacation, you will be allowed to park in the Riviera parking lot, even if you don't have a room booked at the hotel itself. Just make sure to have your dining reservation pulled up and ready to show the front gate cast member. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this restaurant is popular, so you need to plan on reserving your table 60 days ahead of time to guarantee your spot for either breakfast or dinner. So stay on top of that time frame and jump on your My Disney Experience account just as soon as your window of opportunity opens up. You know how I mentioned earlier that there is one potential way to get into the restaurant without a reservation? Well, I lied. There are actually two, and this second one covers both dinner and breakfast. On top of the dinner-only bar lounge solution, you can also check and see if there's a walk-up waitlist available the day of your visit. In your My Disney Experience app, you'll be able to see if Topolino's Terrace has any last-minute availability for you and your group to walk up and be seated without a reservation. Of course, availability isn't guaranteed this way, but this is a good option if you're nearby the restaurant and notice that there's a tiny sliver of availability out and open in the wild. And now for the most important element of your restaurant experience, it's time to talk about the food here. We're going to start with breakfast, then work our way to the real fancy stuff. Deal? Deal. So normally, Disney World's character meals have a reputation of serving the same kind of breakfast eats. A never-ending supply of scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, Mickey waffles, and some sort of breakfast potato. Nothing wrong with this, but if you're a breakfast connoisseur, you might be trying to track down something a little less predictable. That's why you really might vibe with Topolino's prefix breakfast spread. Your breakfast will start with a cute basket of shareable pastries and spreads, then each person can choose one entree, including options like quiche Gruyere, sour cream waffles, wild mushroom scramble, and smoked salmon. There's also often a steak situation and a couple other options too. The kids menu has more familiar choices like the Mickey waffle dippers and scrambled eggs, and any kiddo entree comes with a choice of 2 sides. Again, the safe stuff like potatoes or fruit. In our experience, the breakfast has been fresh and filling. This is definitely one of the more elevated morning meals on property, presenting standard eats in a not-so-standard way. Now, dinner. Say goodbye to Mickey and Minnie and hello, fancy schmancy a la carte dining experience. Dinner here is a top-tier, carby, cheesy, hearty experience without being overindulgent. Well, maybe it's a little overindulgent. The menu includes handmade pasta, fresh seafood, hearty meat dishes, artisanal cheese boards, and classic delicious cocktails. Some of the standout dishes we've had here include the ricotta antipasto, rigatoni, French veal chop, bouillabaisse, and the dessert cheese board with international cheese selections alongside tasty extras like honeycomb, fig, and almonds. There's also a wide range of signature cocktails, as there should be, since there's literally an indoor and outdoor bar available. You can order options like the French Rose, modern fashioned, get it? Like old fashioned, but modern fashioned. Yeah, okay, we got it. Or one of the several featured wines and beers. And for kids, you're going to find pretty straightforward options like pasta or chicken breast with roasted veggies and mashed potatoes on the side. This is one of those restaurants that'll have multiple interesting and fancy selections that you don't have to be a 100% adventurous eater to enjoy. Despite the unique takes on European cuisine and the rather intimidating menu names for some items, this elevated dining experience isn't so elevated it's going to freak you out with all the new flavors. It's totally accessible for a range of palates. But that being said, this ain't your puffy pizza fling and glow cube cocktail pouring Disney World restaurant. Yes, the food is an experience. Yes, the menu is well developed. Yes, this is a standout atmosphere. But now I'm going to crush some of your dreams with a low price reality check. Whether you're planning on hitting up Topolino's Terrace for breakfast or dinner, you're going to have to write an apology letter to your bank account. In the Disney World price ranking universe, Topolino's gets $3 signs next to his name, and that's $2 more dollar signs than some of y'all are going to want to see. That prefixed breakfast for adults is $42 per person and $27 per kid. That's really pricey for a breakfast experience, even by Disney World standards. For dinner, options are a la carte, but you're going to find that many entrees range around $30 to $50 each, while starters and antipasto go for about $9 to $18 each. And that's not factoring in desserts or drinks or enhancements, which, as you know, are the little things Disney puts at the bottom of the menu that used to be sides and now you have to pay extra for. But here's the thing, if you're already planning on setting aside money for a really nice meal, well, Topolino's could still be a worthy contender for you. These breakfast character dining prices are exactly what you're going to find over at Chef Mickey's in Disney's Contemporary Resort, which is another extremely popular character meal that books up way in advance. And honestly, breakfast options at Topolino's are on a whole different level than what you're going to find at Chef Mickey's. Chef Mickey's will provide you with the same old stuff, while Topolino's is busy cracking its knuckles and preparing to show off how character breakfast should really be done. Like I said, this is your bridge between a very nice breakfast and a character meal, whereas Chef Mickey's is just straight up character meal. As far as dinner is concerned, other signature restaurants like California Grill, also at the Contemporary, and Yachtsman Steakhouse at Disney's Yacht Club Resort have menus that are quite steeply priced. If you know for a fact that having an upscale dinner experience is an essential for your trip, then these kinds of prices are what you can expect to find. And Topolino's doesn't vary from that. But unlike Topolino's breakfast spread, where I can say with confidence that you'll experience better options here than you will at Chef Mickey's, I can't really say the same thing about dinner here. Not saying that Topolino's is bad. I mean, you heard me just now raving about all the different choices they have to offer. I'm just saying there are so many good upscale dinner locations on Disney World property that to say one completely dominates the competition isn't really true. So you're going to have to find out which restaurant is going to have the options you'll want to try the most if you're going to set aside money for a signature dinner. If one of the main selling points of Topolino's for you are those sweeping terrace views and fireworks displays, then you also may want to check on reservations for Toledo Tapas Steak and Seafood over at Disney's Gran Destino Tower, located in the Coronado Springs Resort area. Not only does Toledo provide a similar rooftop experience, but it also has top-tier signature eats at non-signature prices. So you have the potential to save money and still get some breathtaking views. But if you really want to save money and you know that you'll be perfectly content chomping on a cheeseburger next to a crooning alien animatronic, that's Cosmic Rays in Magic Kingdom, by the way, then obviously you don't need to stress over a $50 plus plate of food. So is it worth it? It all boils down to this moment, right? Is Topolino's Terrace going to be the restaurant equivalent of your knight in shining armor? Or is this not the happily ever after you were looking for? Well, green light on Topolino's Terrace if you're looking for hearty eats with interesting takes. If you're looking for a unique upscale option and you're craving those carby, cheesy, rich flavors, then you're going to have a good time here. If you're celebrating a special occasion, Topolino's Terrace might be a memorable experience for you. Whether you want to celebrate your kid's birthday with Mickey and friends, or you want to celebrate an anniversary on an outdoor terrace with fireworks views, Topolino's can help you set the mood. And maybe you want a more elevated breakfast experience. You've got kids who you know will love meeting all the characters, yet you're still wishing to eat a memorable meal if you're going to have to drop all that dough in the first place. Topolino's prefix breakfast will give you the best of both worlds. So red light on Topolino's Terrace if you're on a strict budget. At the end of the day, $50 meal is a $50 meal, regardless of how jaw-dropping the views are or how excellent the food tastes. So consider dining elsewhere if you don't want your stomach to drop immediately after you catch a glimpse of your bill. Red lighted if you're looking for a quick meal. If you need something to eat ASAP so you can go back to your park day, this is not the place you need to be. Topolino's Terrace will take a good chunk out of your day to experience because you got to get there first of all, and then it's a pretty big experience, going to take some time. And red lighted if you're going to regret not eating someplace else. If you only have one opportunity to go hog wild on a really nice Disney meal, then you're really going to want to do your research and make sure Topolino's checks off the boxes for you. That's why I put out these DFB guides on the DFB store website in the first place, to give you a detailed look into every single restaurant out there. So remember to explore your options before you commit, and make sure you're doing that research before your 60-day advanced dining reservation window opens up. That way, you're ready to go. So in general, I absolutely think Topolino's Terrace can be worth the splurge, but that's just it. It's a splurge. And if you can set aside the budget for this meal ahead of time and you know it's going to give you the best bang for your buck, that's not going to fill you with buyer's regret in the end, then it's time to start saving now. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching, everyone. We've got lots of these videos all about specific restaurants, so if you're trying to make those decisions, check out our playlist. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.